Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Tonight, or today when this is going to be put out, is the part 2 of the He Said, She Said series. And this, we're going to go through the interview that Deavan gave to John Yates, and it's all about the tea, aka Monica, and just some inconsistencies I've found with her story, some things that I found to be a little wild, and we're just gonna kind of go through point by point what we thought, or what I thought, of the interview and what we've seen not only on the show but on social media, and how that kind of doesn't match up with what Deavan has claimed in the video. So to back up, the interview that Deavan did a couple days ago, she sat down with probably the messiest blogger on the internet, John Yates, and who she's allegedly really good friends with, and all about the tea. I don't know too much about her, so that is what it is. But it was an hour and a half long interview, and really they were addressing the 12-page Instagram story that Jihoon had put out, responding to, I guess, allegations that he's heard that Deavan is making about him. Now, Deavan stated very clearly, and I'm not going to be playing clips of the interview because I don't want copyright claims on my channel, but you can go watch it. She states on her, or during the interview, that all she's ever done was accuse Jihoon of vile things, that she never proactively accused him of abuse, and I think that's really important here. So according to Deavan's own posts on Instagram, and I'm sorry, I'm reading from notes that I made, so I'm sorry if I'm looking away from the camera from time to time. So according to her own a response she made on Instagram, the filming of season 2 of The Other Way took place between December of 2018 and October of 2019. Now, there's a couple issues with this, and I don't know if she meant to clarify that the production crew filmed from December 18 to October 2019, because we know with COVID, Jihoon and Deavan went to self-filming, and they were teased at the beginning of this season, her in a mask, talking about how crazy the pandemic was. She also responds to one of Jihoon's claims that he hasn't seen Taehyung in over a year, and she says that Jihoon and Taehyung saw each other as early as May 1st, because she was still in Korea at the time. So part of what I found kind of inconsistent and kind of didn't make sense to me was she made statements in the interview with John Yates and Monica that everything she's said is because she's under an NDA. She could get sued for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she doesn't want to break that NDA, so she's kind of being held hostage. She actually calls it a slave contract, and we're going to address that later in the vlog. So I think it's important. She says that the film crew, I'm going to interpret that as, stopped filming them in October of 2019, and it seems like they went to self-filming at that point. Deavan has made several claims in the interview with John Yates and Monica that she was pleading for help recording these videos for TLC, and finally TLC gave her a pay advance, got her out of Dodge. They're paying for therapy for Drusilla, and they gave her an advance on her salary so that she could fly home to the United States. A couple things that I don't understand with that claim is that between October and May, on her YouTube channel, there are still, even though she's gone in and revamped the channel, it used to be called Junie Vanny and now it's called The Family Vanny. On her YouTube channel, she still has over 20 videos posted from that time, and they're mostly family vlogs. There's a day in the life, there's bedtime routines, there's dinner routines, there's all different kinds of things. She goes shopping in a couple of them. There's even a Q&A with Jihoon that at the point of me filming this is still up there. She also has several videos where she addresses TLC rumors, rules that they have to follow. And I would think that if she was so worried about her NDA, she probably wouldn't make videos like that. Additionally, she also doesn't seem to shy away from talking about her dirty laundry on YouTube either. Like I mentioned in my first video, she has had some wild drama that a lot of people don't encounter in their life. She made a video about her aunt that tried to kidnap her and sell her. She also made a video about a past abusive relationship. So being that she has not shied away in the past from talking about sensitive topics like that, it is interesting to me that she's playing so coy and so evasive now. And another thing that we're going to talk about is regarding the alleged abuse, and I'm really talking about one incident in particular because both Jihoon and Deavan have acknowledged that this incident in some capacity has occurred, and that is the hair pulling incident. It's interesting that Deavan admits in the interview with John Yates and Monica that there is no police report and Drusilla did not receive medical attention. But John Yates claims that he has evidence of all of this, everything that she is alleging. He has evidence. She claims that she has evidence as well. Why do internet 90-day fiance bloggers have more evidence of your child's mistreatment than police or medical professionals or people who could intervene and actually help you? I find that really suspicious. One of the things that kind of seemed silly and arbitrary to me is because this hair pulling incident, Jihoon claims happened when he picked Drusilla up from school. So in the video, Deavan claims that Drusilla actually doesn't go to a real school. She has 2 hours of English teaching, which I took that to mean at first that she was getting like English lessons, but actually what it is she goes to a school for 2 hours, 3 days a week, and she explains this actually in a vlog on her YouTube channel. And in that vlog, and I'll kind of run through it here with you guys, Jihoon herself, they drop Drusilla off at school, and we can see it looks like a very traditional classroom. Just because she only goes for 2 hours, 3 days a week, I don't think negates the fact that it's school. And with being that, to me, it looks like a pretty traditional school. If she is having behavioral issues, if the teachers are getting involved, that would make sense that they would talk to her parents or her guardians, which would be Deavan and Jihoon. Another claim that Deavan made was that she is being paid for the tell-all, and like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, TLC gave her a pay advance for her to be able to fly home to the United States, and that they're paying for therapy for Drusilla. Well, actually, and that seems kind of fishy to me because in no capacity has TLC ever really intervened and helped couples like that before. They should. Objectively, we see situations where we wish TLC would have got involved or we hope TLC would have got involved, and it doesn't look like they have. So it just would be out of character or out of their nature. My initial thought when I heard that was like, oh cool, they're helping people now. I really hope they're getting Karini help. Well, Paul just did an interview with a la John Yates, and he said that because of all their ongoing drama, they were allowed to not go to the tell-all. So they weren't fired. So this seems really suspicious to me as well. And I will say, while I find numerous things interesting, not making sense, inconsistent throughout this interview, I by no means am not willing. If receipts are provided, if proof is provided, I will more than happy make another vlog and publicly apologize to Deavan. So I have no problem doing that. I'm just saying, with what we've seen, with what we've followed with her on social media, these are the things that just don't make sense to me. So we're gonna dive right into the hair pulling incident and the things that are wildly inconsistent. So Deavan claims in leaked DMs that Lita provided to another 90-day blogger, 90-day Yahoo boy, that the incident that Jihoon was referencing, which Jihoon had claimed the incident was when he picked up Drusilla from school, he was simply showing her that pulling hair was not okay because I think the teacher had mentioned that Drusilla was pulling another child's hair, and he was trying to say like, hey, look, you don't like when you get your hair pulled, so don't pull other kids' hair. Deavan refuted this to Lita in private DMs, claiming that the incident actually occurred a month later at 3 a.m. Drusilla Jihoon tore a 3-inch wide chunk out of her head of hair, which you would think would have left obviously a huge bald spot, would have required medical attention. But she admitted and was asked by Monica from All About the Tea, was medical attention provided? No. Was a police report filed? No. And the reason given was because Korean culture doesn't care about children. That was a direct quote from her, and they protect criminals. I want to go back real quick to the video. She has scrubbed a lot of videos from her social media platform. One in particular that I remember watching, and then I tried to go back and find it, and it wasn't there, was a video she made when she first got back to the United States, and that was on May 25th, 2020. And I actually found the video today. And why, you may ask? I'm not a great internet detective by any means, but I did a little bit of Googling of how you can watch deleted YouTube videos. And actually, if it's a video that you watched before, you can go into your watch history as long as it's still posted. People can unlist YouTube videos, but if it's still there, it'll still show up in your watch history. And guess what? Deavan just unlisted it. She didn't delete it. Maybe she has at this point, but I was able to go back and watch it. And a couple things I found interesting. Okay, so in the video, not only is this video very choppy, the way it's edited, it starts and stops almost every 5 seconds. But Deavan claims a few things. She says she came home for personal family reasons. Okay, which she's flown back and forth between the United States and Korea before, so I don't think anybody really thought that was strange at the time. She apologizes in the video for not posting in the last week. She says that she plans to only stay in the United States for a month. She says that, well, she's going to be uploading videos from the United States. She said that Jihoon, who remained in Korea because of prior, quote, engagements, that he would be filming in Korea and they would be uploading to the channel as well. This doesn't really seem to speak to a relationship that is so toxic and so dangerous that Deavan needed TLC's assistance to escape. So I wanted to talk about a couple of the claims that I found kind of awful by Deavan. Again, she is stating, and I want to reiterate, that she has evidence to back up her claims, including video recordings of their fights. She says once the court proceedings are over, she is going to be putting out a documentary with her new boyfriend regarding all of this that has taken place, which I kind of found interesting. Why would you be doing that with him? But okay. So a couple claims that she made that I thought were really awful was that Koreans don't care about children. So this was to speak to her reasoning for why Drusilla didn't receive medical attention. So a simple Google search would tell you, and I'll show you guys here, according to a CNN Health article, South Korea actually ranks number 2 behind Norway in child flourishing. Where does the United States land on that list? 39. So if Koreans don't care about children, what does that say about Americans? I don't know. Also, Interestingly enough, where we left off with them at the mid-season finale, it was Taeyoung's 100-day of being alive birthday celebration. And this is really important in Korean culture because back in the day, not too long ago, there was such a high infant mortality rate in Korea that children often did not live to see 100 days. So this is cause for a big celebration. So to me, that does not say that Koreans don't care about children. Other thing that I thought that was just kind of silly, and if you had any kind of clue as to international law, she says that Koreans protect criminals. So due process and how court proceedings go differ from country to country. One thing that we have in the United States that many countries do not have is freedom of speech and freedom of the press. And we have things like the Freedom of Information Act. We have things public like arrest records, court records, felony convictions, things like that. Those are all public record. Well, that's not the case in a lot of countries. For instance, in Great Britain, you can actually be fined or jailed for talking about an ongoing criminal proceeding. Because while we put freedom of speech above due process here in the United States, other countries put due process first. And we've seen here in the United States many times trials get played out in the court of public opinion, and that can affect the outcome of a case. Now, I love freedom of speech, hence why I have this channel. So I'm a big lover of freedom of speech, so don't get me wrong there. Also, because of our lovely freedom of speech, it makes it really hard to win defamation cases when you are a, quote, public figure. Shout out to Your Wet Sock, which Deavan has threatened with a defamation suit, simply because he's made videos and she's part of the content. So it's that's not defamation. And actually, in the private DMs between Lita and that Lita provided 90-day Yahoo Boy, or during that live, she was explaining that she told Deavan that that wasn't defamation. I find it incredibly coincidental, convenient that all of these allegations occurred once the production crew was gone and they were left to self-filming. I do think because before I moved here to Florida, I was living in a 700 square foot apartment in Los Angeles with my husband, my dog, my cat, my child, and you live on top of each other. And in lockdown, that can make anybody go stir crazy. It's so, it takes a toll. It does. It takes a definite mental toll. I would assume, and I'm waiting to see what comes out, because Deavan did mention that we will be seeing some of these recordings that she made kind of pleading with TLC for help. Now, we know that Korea went under a much more extreme lockdown than we saw here in the United States. So she really probably was confined to just their apartment. She says that she's really disappointed that these videos were going to be broadcasted. But to me, if these verify your story, why wouldn't you want the public to see them? Now, a little bit about John Yates. I've had very little interaction with him personally. He did post a meme about me, though, not too long ago when I started my podcast, which fat shamed me, which is totally fine. But I find him to be an incredibly messy individual. I had posted something that I wrote that bloggers, YouTubers, memers, whoever that get too close to cast or followers aren't to be trusted. You guys, we're internet strangers. It just, when you get too close to this situation, you lose your ability to be objective, and this is the kind of stuff that happens. We saw that John Yates was super tight, thick as thieves with Ashley of Ashley and Jay. That turned extremely messy. He turned against Danielle. He's turned against other people. And now he's turned against Lita, who for years he's been really thick as thieves with. I also find it really cringy that he is going to bat for Paul when Paul is objectively a manipulative individual. So I think that for me, if it was me, I would be distancing myself as much as possible from someone like that. But he seems to just swim upstream and against the current, if you will. Well, it looks like Lita is not immune to the John Yates wrath. We've seen him go off and say terrible things about Ashley. Has said terrible things about Brittany. I don't even know what their beef is there, but it's gotten really dark, pretty disgusting in my opinion. She's said shit about him too, so don't get me wrong, but it's just really, really messy. I do want to point out, and I find it very interesting, that Deavan made it a point in a DM to the Your Wet Sock YouTuber that she hates bloggers, she doesn't trust them, and this is why she was reaching out to him. But she had mentioned in the interview with All About the Tea and John Yates that she called John almost every day from Korea. What is John Yates gonna do for you in Korea? Why aren't you calling the authorities? She said she spoke to a friend of hers that was a police officer in Korea, and that person told her that she was shit out of luck because she was a foreigner. That seems so wild to me. Like, South Korea is a developed country with cutting edge technology, education. They had one of the quickest, swiftest responses to COVID. That is a wild allegation to me that I cannot find substantive proof for aside from Deavan's allegations. So you guys, the other thing is that Deavan has claimed that while she was not fired from TLC, she has been held in a slave contract. That is a bold claim to make. And not something that I think that should be thrown around so flippantly. The closest thing I think that could even come close to that is prison labor, people that make like a quarter for fighting wildfires. There's more of an argument there, but Deavan, sweetie, no, you're not in a slave contract. Now, I don't know what kind of backlash is gonna come from this video. I don't know what kind of heat I'm gonna receive. It's all good though, you guys. These are just my opinions of things that I found incredibly inconsistent with her story. She says that basically what she's claiming in the gist is when TLC left in what she claims is October 2019 to May when she left, she was living in an incredibly toxic, abusive environment. She said that Ji-hoon was drinking all the time, playing video games, that they were doing everything they could to get him out of the house. Well, according to her own YouTube channel, that wasn't anything for TLC. This was her monetized YouTube channel. So unless she's holding herself under some NDA, I don't know. She paints a completely different picture. So I think, to me, this is really convenient, and I need to see proof in order for me to believe any of this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight or today, whenever you're watching this. As always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and here on YouTube at Reality Squad. My name is Sarah. We're gonna be bringing you guys more content. I just needed to come and speak my piece on this nonsense because we talk about dumpster fires here a lot. That interview made no damn sense. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I post on there a lot. And I'll see you in the next video, you guys. So take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.